If it wasn't for experiencing my worst day, I don't know that I would have changed. Like, everything just happened so fast. I began exercising again in my late 20s, became obsessed with CrossFit, read the mindset manual, follow business and biceps, and then boom, my dad passes away. Right then and there, like, I'll never forget. As you can, you talked about it yesterday. As I'm walking out of my job, it's like, I'm not coming back. I'm not chasing money no more. I'm not chasing X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm going to wake up and do me. My wife looked at me and said, "What? You can't even pay the electric bill on time. How are you going to do this?" So I followed your plan of waking up at 3 a.m. for a year straight.
That's wild, man.
And from there, I say it's a pro, a con, a curse. Like, right now, I'm so obsessed with growth and working, and,
It's a pro.
It's a pro. It's for sure a pro.
It has to fall off here and there.
The obsession of building something and developing myself has created freedom. It's different than balance.
Absolutely.
Balance is, I think, a lie that people tell themselves so they don't have to try hard sometimes.
Like, you have to be, you better diagnose, self-reflect, because in order for it to be successful, you're going to have to put in the hours and the time up front.
Yep.
Now, what you said, we're at year 27.
Yeah.
And Corey has all the freedom. I mean, you could take a month hiatus if you want to.
For sure.
But it's been the 27.
But it's taken that long, right? And the thing is, Matt, that's why I love being around you, because you continually remind that that's what it takes. Because I'm watching you in year, 3 or 4 of Keeney's Kitchen, right? And it's like, you're still and will still be required to be that guy for a while. And that's just what it is. And I think the sooner people understand that, that's part of what I think I'm kind of meant to do in this kind of, 10th chapter of my life, is let people know what time it is.
Woo! We live from Connect Cafe and Events, Chillicothe, Ohio. Corey G, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It was a great drive down here. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to see you on the mic.
Yeah. This is a new venture. 5-7 years ago, when I was introduced to a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, podcast helped change my life, the direction, impacted thousands of people, and to, be sitting here alongside of you, because he was my mentor for years.
Yeah.
Woke up every Monday, couldn't wait to, turn on the radio and hear the wisdom. I can't even put into words how impactful that time of my life was.
This is why you need to do a podcast, Matt, because there's going to be people listening to you from what you've been able to accomplish that'll feel the same way.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm sitting here, because I want to contribute to that process.
Thank you. And, it's not about impacting the world. We have so much opportunity right here in the small town USA.
Facts.
Small town. So with that being said, uber super excited. I'm going to go ahead and give this man an intro. Corey Gregory, locally, man, so many accolades. So I'm just going to get it rocking here.
Sure.
Corey Gregory is a serial fitness entrepreneur, a leader in the nutrition industry, and a top training expert. As a way to save money for college, Corey worked as an underground coal miner until he opened his first gym at the age of 20. Corey quickly earned the reputation as an industry expert in both personal training and nutrition. Corey co-founded one of the fastest growing sport nutrition brands ever, Muscle Farm. If you know, in the early 2008 to 2014, 13.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, which sold over $500 million. That's right, folks. $500 million worth of product in 7 years.
That don't even sound real, bro.
It's hard for me to count to 100, so we have to write it down on paper. Corey has also developed an online program and nutrition app, Corey G Fitness, which is thousands of members that stretch across 100 countries. I've been a member of Corey G Fitness for 10, 12, 14 years, and it's greatly impacted my life. Max Effort Muscle is the second sports nutrition brand, is gaining steam fast in the direct-to-consumer market since inception in 2016. The brand is refreshing and changed the industry with unique marketing and practical application, all while helping their customers get great results. Corey is also the co-founder of Old School Gym, an invite-only training facility located in Granville, Ohio, and I've had the pleasure to be there. If you knock on the door...
You've been invited.
I've been invited, and I would say there's an open invitation, but you just got to get out of bed.
Yeah.
This facility is the home of the 4 a.m. crew, an elite drug-free powerlifting team that completes and multiply yearly. Corey personally has competed in more than 30 drug-free powerlifting competitions. He recently squatted 694 pounds, That's a lot of weight if you don't know, folks. Weigh in at 181 pounds. So that's triple body weight, right? Triple and a half?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't count either, but I squatted it.
Yeah, heck yeah. And we have it on film to prove it.
Yes, sir.
He also has multiple elite totals in 181, 198. So at the end of the day, Corey is a weightlifter, true and true. Corey has competed at 165 pounds of bodybuilding all the way up to 242 in the big boy days. I'd like to see you at 242.
I couldn't tie my shoes, bro.
Yeah. He's competed in 15 plus drug-free bodybuilding events, winning the NMA Pro Card in 2019, and has graced the cover of 13 fitness magazines, which is incredible. Lastly, Corey is also a business coach, a husband to his wife, Rachel, and the father of 3 amazing kiddos, AG, Andon, and Madeline. On top of all that, he is my friend. He
Yes, sir.
is my coach, my business partner, and yes, he even doubles as a island owner. Hey, that's the professional side, but now I want to share what Corey means to me personally. All right, here we go. Corey, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for your courage of generational change. Thank you for your leadership, your redemption, your vision, your authenticity, and your desire to serve others with your talents. Who would have thought a kid from the trailer park could have so much impact due to a rusty barbell and a bicep vein and the pursuit of the pump? But it did, and it impacted mine. In one of the most challenging seasons of my life, navigating play of young adulting to the responsibility years of marriage, career, parenting, and finding purpose. I was introduced to your Wake Your Butt Up program and also Squat Every Day. You were authentic. You were real. You were relatable. On the outside, it looked as if you had everything going on and winning. Now that I've had the opportunity to peel back the hood, I realize it was not handed to you nor passed down. It hasn't been easy. It has been years of hard work, self-belief, and overcoming obstacles and the power of consistency. You are human, just like me.
Facts.
And you were just the man I needed and aspired to be like. Through your stewardships of God's gift in writing the Mindset Manual, a spark was ignited in me, a spark of growth and confidence. That was the first book I ever read cover to cover, and that in itself was a win.
Hell yeah.
The blueprint you laid out became the foundation I stand on today. I told myself, wake up and do what this guy's, and maybe one day I'll have the opportunity to live and serve the way he does. And Corey, you have never fought it. Behind the scenes, you faced hiccups, sickness, finances, marriage, yet you still gave your audience everything you had on a daily basis. I've listened to every podcast you've ever put out for 10 years. I've dreamed of getting a moment to lift weights with you, shake your hand, and have a conversation. And over the past 2 years, I've been blessed with those opportunities. Traveling through downtown Columbus, selling meal preps, attending seminars, competing at powerlifting meets, and even emailing you for advice. But the icing on the cake was you and Coach Mass encouraged me on my 42nd birthday when I hit 43 reps at 405 pounds
That was awesome.
at Sore Necks, which you personally invited me to. I don't take it for granted. Corey, I say all that to say this. My heart beats the same today as it did when I first read the Mindset Manual 10 years ago. Back then, I never thought I was good enough or had enough potential to be sitting in this chair with you. But here we are, September 2nd, 2025. You saw something in me that I now hope to see in other young men, full of potential, but without a roadmap. So thank you for joining me on this new venture. Let's freaking go.
Dude, Matt, thank you. You know, it's wild because you work for so many years and you just, to your point, you just head down, push, trying to impact, trying to do what's on your heart. To impact somebody like yourself, to hear those things out loud, it's kind of like mind-boggling, right? And I think just that mentality, like yesterday was Labor Day. I mean, I ran a wheelbarrow all day at the island. It was on my own island, but I was paying somebody to run the wheelbarrow, right? And so, like, I think just continuing to do hard things, head down, follow the passion. I'm excited to be here too. And for people that don't know you, I want to introduce you real quick.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Matt Keeney, former college football player.
That's right.
See, you don't bring that up very often, but you need to. Husband to Brooke, dad to Zaid and Zaya. Owner of Dreamboat Fitness starting in 2017. And really, when I met Matt, that's like what he was getting ready to embark on. And so I got to see if he was about it right out the gate with that project, which is still obviously going on. Started Keeney's Kitchen in January of 2002 and has sold now over 650,000 meals.
2022.
2020. What'd I say?
2002.
Oh yeah, 2022. Okay, well that's even better, right?
Heck yeah.
20 years. Multiple locations, growing by the day. Attention to detail and understanding how food is fresh and consistent is what I want everybody to understand. If you are around the meal prep business, the understanding of what Matt has done. So when I'm eating something 4 days later, it tastes just as good as it did day one. And what you've done an amazing job, Matt, is taking out the human error. But what I'll say is when there is human error from a standpoint of delivery or orders, you will go over and above at over delivering. And I've watched you drive an hour and a half out of your way to deliver 4 extra meals to somebody because you knew that's what needed to happen. And so what I want people to understand is not only is Matt a successful dad and business owner, but he is doing the necessary things to sit in this chair. For a person like me to drive out of my way to come here to want to be part of this, and our customers now as we're, being business partners, are being able to share in that type of vision and execution. And so I really want to commend you on doing the things that allow you to be in this chair. And to your point, this isn't for everybody, dude.
Sure.
It's so hard to do the things that you're supposed to do when you don't want to do them. And the reason why you're getting these opportunities and being able to embark on this type of stuff is because you are this guy. So I want to introduce Matt Keeney.
That dude. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that.
Thanks for saying all those nice things too. I mean, it means a lot because now we've been working together so long, bro. I don't think about any of that stuff on a regular basis, but the fact that it impacts you, to really want to start this stuff means a lot. So thanks.
Yeah. Labor Day, Monday, I'm excited, 6:30 in the morning, jumping out of bed, heading over to the office, and was just obsessed with one, I'm not saying pinching myself but I've dreamed about this opportunity for 7 years. Never thought, I never thought I was good enough. And now, as I've shared before, just hoping to get to shake your hand, having somebody of your accolades to sit here and knowing that it was going to happen, coming into contact with Dre, I know nothing about podcast technology, all these microphones.
Yeah.
But as you keep putting feet forward, people just appear in your life, and the law of attraction.
It is the law of attraction.
The law of attraction. You can't fake it. We've talked about this before. You can only fake it for so long. You're going to get exposed. And that's what strives me to over deliver, is because nothing is guaranteed.
And when you shift the paradigm of your life, meaning that you want something more for your family, that you're putting in the work, that you're putting in the consistency, that you're reaching out to mentors, and you just give it enough time, and you're staying with that a positive mental attitude, you will start to attract things. People think that you just have to do that. It takes that plus all the other stuff. And when you're up against hard decisions, perseverance, all of those things, when you continue to show up in that way, I think people like Dre, people like this opportunity for Connect App, they do show up. And then, you listen to your intuition, you rely on your confidence, you rely on your support system, and then you just go. And that's why, and that's why you're just all right, it's time to 52 weeks.
Yeah.
52 weeks.
Reverse engineer.
I love it.
I want to hit the check mark once a week, 52 times, and then we'll see what happens from there. And so that's a good point right there. Any new young bucks out there, up and comers, Corey has a ton of accolades, a ton of success. It just didn't happen. This has been 27 years, compounded effort with multiple failures. A lot of times we don't talk about the failures, but there's been many along the way, and we're going to dive into them. I'm going to ask you about some things. And me sitting right here, it's been 10 consecutive years of ultimate sacrifice, delivering on the weekends, being the dishwasher, doing everything that not necessarily I wanted to do, but I knew I had to if I wanted to change the direction of the family tree.
Which is 100% in motion right now.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
facts.
For sure. Hey, well, let's dive into some questions right here. So early life and fitness journey, Corey, take us back to the beginning. What was the moment or season in your life where you knew fitness wasn't just a hobby, but your calling?
Yeah, it's funny because my grandfather started me lifting weights when I was 12. And it was a good way for me to spend time with him because he was kind of like my dad, basically. And I just remember the initial confidence. And he said 3 things. He goes, well, you're going to be more confident. The girls like it, and you'll be better at sports. And I was like, sign me up. I want all those 3 things, right? And I think not to mention being able to see a man that I looked up to, seeing his consistency.
Yeah.
And look, he was in construction. He did coal mining when he was a kid, but he always lifted weights. He lifted weights and golfed. So that's something I did at a very young age because I was spending time with him. And it was like kind of a weird combo back then, honestly. But it was one of those things where I just only started like thinking about it, Matt. I was thinking about when's the next workout? What could I study? Like, how could I get more information? How could I get bigger muscles? Like very like naive just to the whole situation in bodybuilding from the steroid use and all the things people were doing. But I just wanted to get better. And so I just became borderline obsessed with that. And my other passion is basketball. So I spent a lot of time shooting and trying to get better at that. And honestly, my results weren't that great. I was like an okay player.
Yeah.
But with fitness, there was something different. And here's what I noticed. Even at 14, 15 years old, I started writing workouts for my friends. And what I noticed, two things. The ones that could show up consistently got better and felt better. And I was good at it. The ones who couldn't, obviously didn't. And the difference was the consistent part.
Yeah.
And I just really made up my mind that I just wasn't going to miss. And I ran into this, like, he had to be in his 50s or 60s, man. This super jacked dude at the gym I went to at Rocky Road. I went to the Fitness Pavilion and Rocky Road, these two local gyms that were super hardcore. And I just asked the dude, like, what, like everyone, and they ask you, I'm sure, Matt, people ask me, what's your secret? He's like, I haven't missed more than a week's workouts. And last time I can't even remember. I'm looking at that thinking, that's what it takes. And it's something just clicked that day. And I just came off a freshman year where I skipped the whole summer.
Yeah.
And that was my sophomore year when I asked this guy. I haven't missed more than a week since then. And I just knew that consistency over everything, I think, would give me what I want. And I just didn't know that to be all the way true. But when I started executing that, I changed quite a bit. And I could see it around me. I was changing. I was believing in myself. I was getting more confident, borderline cocky at times. But I think as I matured up, I got a little bit better. And then I realized that that was going to be my key to success.
Yeah, that's incredible to have, a family member, a grandfather to lift the weights with you. I dive deep into family and childhood, childhood trauma. I think we all have some type of, second through eighth grade, we dislike something about our childhood.
For sure.
Good, bad, and different, always wanting that pair of shoes at a different house. But I look back, fifth, sixth grade, I was attracted to sports, began to do push-ups and sit-ups in my room until I would, 1,000 probably. I bet I would bang out 300, 400, 500 push-ups until I couldn't do no more and just fall asleep. And it was just because I had low self-confidence, didn't like where I came from, but I knew if I had that bicep vein, if I was stronger, a little bit faster in the sports, that the teachers would look at me different. Especially when you get into varsity sports and you're scoring 2, 3, 4 touchdowns a game.
You're propped up differently.
Yeah, you're treated different. And then, that was my escape. That was my way out. And still, there were some times in my 20s and 30s that the yo-yo, you and I understand, I haven't been consistent as you from the time of 15. I had a lot of yo-yo years from even by playing college football. It's one of my biggest regrets is if I could apply this business work ethic to my college football game, like no doubt 4-year starter, probably in the conference, Hall of Fame. But
you see how it can be applied and like make everything more successful, right? It's just, and I think that, so what's wild about our difference, Matt, is I put that work in the sports and didn't get the result.
Yeah.
Like it was mediocre at best, right? Like I'm actually a better hooper now at damn near 50 than I was when I was 17. So it was weird because I'm just thankful that I pivoted to the fitness part. But I think if I wouldn't have saw the interaction of how my friends felt by me helping them, I think I started like kind of understanding that there was this service part that, I felt, a need to do. And really like back to like the early stuff, like I wanted that to be my dad helping me, but it wasn't. But my grandfather thankfully stepped in and became that person, right? And so the reality is I also thought if I put all this time in, the same type of thing, I could be a starter, I could maybe get propped up, it would mean more because I didn't have a lot. And what I didn't realize is I was building this resiliency and this consistent behavior. And, I didn't have my best high school experience. I didn't really like it, to be honest. But I remember thinking like, when I get out of this situation, the slate's wiped clean.
Yeah.
No one cares about your clique, what sport you played. And now we're all in the game of life.
Same playing field.
same playing field. And guess what? I think I have some things going for me that maybe are a little different, and maybe didn't show true then because I didn't go to 4-year school.
Yeah.
I had to go to the coal mine and the sawmill and work underground and save my money and go to community college. None of that looks real glamorous, but my intentions were a lot different. And my overall arching thing of changing like a kind of a generational landscape drove me when it was really hard. And so I think that was where I knew there was something different about me. I just needed time.
And I love that because you identified school wasn't, a very fun and happy place for you.
I felt dumb.
You wanted,
Yeah.
you talk about being the sixth man on the basketball team. Probably you wanted to be the starter. You wanted to average 20, 30. But what I think is so cool is you changed, and we all have those former classmates and folks we know that's still hanging on to the jersey back in my day. And
for sure.
I love that you lead by example, still lifting with your kiddos, going to the gym. It's not about you, nor do you even care, but it's
so fun.
It's a fresh
it's
slate.
it's honestly like a different life. And I kind of came onto this thing like that is trailer, not educated, not understanding the world, optimistic kind of Corey situation, right? And like once I got into where I'm an adult, I got my own money, I'm going to go pave my own way, I thought everybody was in trouble. And I don't know why I thought that, but I just thought I have the power. I went and worked a bazillion hours underground, saved 25 grand, and I was off on my life. And I was like, I don't need nobody.
Yep.
I just need me and a consistent version of me. And I literally thought I will kill everybody now. Not like actually kill them, but in general, like with the landscape being. So I've just kind of operated that way. Now, parts of my old man that he didn't use, I think, for a positive would be like he was a little bit of a loner. He was also a big dreamer. So two things. He never really went forward with the dreams, and he never really understood the lonely part to use it as like a positive.
Yeah.
And so where I saw him mess those up, I decided to say, okay, this daydream relatively comes natural to me.
Yeah.
But if I'm executing and I'm consistent, they start coming true. It's not really a daydream anymore. It's more like reality. And secondly, I use the loner part in the morning to develop myself. I need that as a personality. And I've had talks with my kids already because I see it with my oldest. I'm like, hey, you need to be aware that this can be a bad thing, or it can be a killer thing if you use it the right way. So I think like I was aware of how he wasn't utilizing those things properly, and I was able to use them in a positive.
Yeah. And if there's any adults out there that's tuning into this, I would say, the power of self-development, the power of, I tell, a lot of the adults that I coach, the best investment you can give others is to invest in yourself.
Facts.
And that's early morning, late at night, whatever it is, find it. Corey and I like early mornings. Your cell phone's not going off until 7 or 8 a.m. So Dre here, he loves the walks. He walks in the woods, and, it's a lot less blurry. It's a lot more clear. And
people are ultimately distracted.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, like, and people listen to this and be like, oh, I'm not distracted. If you're getting up and immediately checking Facebook,
you're so distracted.
Or you're immediately, you're in defense. I'm in offense the first 3 hours, 4 hours. Like I'm doing what Corey needs to do. Not what Corey wants to do, what Corey needs to do to get better. And then ultimately I feel way better. And then my execution, my happiness, being able to be there for my family, my business, whatever, it's all there. And so I think that comes with time, but keeping it as like a main source of like that I need it.
Sure.
I look forward to it.
Oh.
I didn't realize that as a kid,
And it's almost like a drug at this point. I would say like I'm a little grumpy. My day's not as good. If I don't, Saturday, Sunday, and you're probably the same way. It's 7 a.m. I'm at the track walking. I'm outside. Quiet time. If I don't get quiet time, I'm going to quiet time before church. Before we even go to church, I got my quiet time.
For sure.
But man, that was a long first question.
Let me ask you a question real quick, Matt.
Okay.
So whenever you were doing well as a college athlete, and I know you was kind of living wild on the weekends a little bit and doing that, but like when did it kind of click like that the path you were on from college to like, corporate job, like did it feel natural at first and then feel unnatural, or did it always feel unnatural? Like if you think back, like, because obviously this is to me, you're living exactly what you should be doing, right? That's why what I was saying meant so much to you.
Yeah.
Because you were like, you actually saw somebody that you could identify with that went and did it, right? Then that's where a lot of people like lock on with me because I'm not talking about it. I'm actually living it every day. And so But was it natural to that part, or had you not just really like, or were you just like scared? Like what I'm interested to know, because I never did that, right? Because so it never was my path. So I'd be interested to see like where that kind of changed, or if it always felt that way.
Yeah. So short story, when I went to college, I felt like I was winning just because I was enrolled into
That's
a
facts,
university.
though. That's
Just winning.
facts. I would have felt that same way,
whether
especially if I was playing
mom
ball.
or dad knew whether I was dropping out of classes, I was just at college.
Yeah,
Back
facts.
then, we didn't have the cell phones. They couldn't be logging into my grades. So I can make up a story. I'm in college. They assumed I would graduate in 4 or 5 years, but it took 7.
I'm glad you started there, because that's true. Especially trailer kids, like, and I knew I was going to community college, so I felt less than. I didn't get recruited. I thought I was so like, you were living that part of the dream. So I'm glad you started that.
Yeah. Then so I went to university, had the opportunity to play football. Without football, I probably don't even make it. That was just a way to keep me a little bit of discipline, and I wasn't a very disciplined athlete. I would still, drink the beer, chase the girl, stay up, and just showed up. And still, as a sophomore, long snapper, strong safety, special teams,
Still
getting
ball.
reps. Yeah. And then had some hiccups at the university, and then came back to my hometown at Shawnee State. Parents have a lot of land, and getting a little bit older, I thought I'd help out. Well, that was a mistake, because I came back to hometown. My parents had a basement I lived in, easy access to have house parties, this and that, riffraff. So once again, another 2 or 3 years of just wasteful, lying to parents, saying, hey, it's the university's fault, this and that. And then finally, if it wasn't for my mom, we just talked about this last night, is she came downstairs one time and just said, like, get out, it's over.
Oh, she cut the cord.
Cut the cord, because they were enabling me to sleep in, go party. And
It's so hard for me to even think of you that way, Matt.
Yeah, like that's why I get emotional sitting here, man.
Yeah.
Because if you could, have a video or reality TV show of my 17 to 25-year-old, like it's a different human.
You're a different person.
100%.
But maybe you just hadn't ran into the stuff that could spark the thought that you could be different.
And that's what I really dive into. I love thinking about and talking about is like, why? One, I didn't have a male mentor.
Yeah.
My grandfather was an alcoholic. He was divorced. He was irritable, bitter. My dad and mom, they separated whenever I was in kindergarten. The whole time he never remarried. He was irritable, bitter. He got on opioids. So once again, I still feel like I'm women. I'm a lot of my current family, a lot of bad decision-making choices.
Bitter is an interesting word, but rings very true. And when you feel that on a regular basis, that's hard to deny.
Yeah, it was awkward for me even later in years to go visit my dad, because he feels like the world's against him, like somebody screwed him over, versus no, it's your own choices, actions that's caused you to get in the situation you're at. Like
A lot of outward, not a lot of inward.
Minimal responsibility with my real father, stepfather, incredible human being, hard worker, provided the wisdom for my mom to change her direction. She's went to college. He was big on university. So without him, I don't know that I would have actually graduated. So once I graduated, applied for a teaching job, didn't get it. However, through connections, knew the local business agent at the local laborers union. I'm lifting weights, going to spring break, looking jacked and tan. He's a 45-year-old. He's fit. He was attracted to my personality because I could BS with the best of them.
Sure.
And one day I was like, man, I'm looking for a job. He said, you want to go pour concrete tomorrow? $25 an hour? I said, sign me up.
Yeah.
So that led me to hard work. So I was in the laborers union for about 2 or 3 years, jackhammer in my hand, shoveling concrete, and realized I hated
You look like
life.
a jacked concrete dude, bro.
And I knew that's what I did not want to do.
Yeah.
And got on the A plant. And really, as you said, the mindset manual, if it wasn't for experiencing my worst day, I don't know that I would have changed. Like everything just happened so fast. I began exercising again in my late 20s. I became obsessed with CrossFit, read the mindset manual, follow business of biceps, and then boom, my dad passes away. Right then and there, like I'll never forget, as you can, you talked about it yesterday. So I'm walking out of my job and it's like, I'm not coming back. I'm not chasing money no more. I'm not chasing X, Y, and Z. Like I'm going to wake up and do me. My wife looked at me and said,
what?
You can't even pay the electric bill on time. How are you going to do this? So I followed your plan of waking up at 3 a.m. for a year straight.
That's wild, man.
And from there, I say it's a pro, a con, a curse. Like right now, I'm so obsessed with growth and working. And,
It's a pro.
It's a pro. It's for sure a pro. But
It has
sometimes I wish,
some fall off.
Yeah.
Here and there.
So that was a long-winded answer, but
No,
it
that's-
never came natural. It just I had the vision, and the worst day, it was like,
I think that basically what I heard, Matt, is that it took you that long to get to where it was so painful that you were finally ready to change.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I think that, for some reason, and I think it was, I was half delusional, bro. I was already there, like at 17. But if Randy, who came into my life when I was 17, my stepdad, and he's the same way, super positive, hard worker. If he doesn't come in and give me the job at the coal mine, though, I think my trajectory is very different.
Yeah.
Because I knew I needed like a chunk of money to really leave.
Yeah.
And I knew like $3,000 wasn't doing that, right? Whenever I moved to Columbus, my mom had no credit, bro. She couldn't even like sign for my lease. Like I had to pay my lease on campus up front for 1 year.
yeah.
All my friends, like they got co-signers, and like that wasn't really a situation. And my stepdad, like I didn't really expect him to do that. He just came into my life, right? Yeah. But he said, I can get you a job. You can just pay for it. I'm in. Like that's why I worked 80 and 90 hour weeks, saved my money, and was like, I was so focused on saving as much money and just getting a chance. And I really have kind of viewed everything that same way. So whatever I embark on, I'm going to go, deep on it, super aggressive, conditioning, just like constantly, and then see what happens. And just going all in is really like, contributed a lot of my success. Now I have the blinders on a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm hard to take off the path. And some people, think that's bad. Some people think it's good. My results ultimately have been good. And I think the fall off that I've had maybe from time to time hasn't been a big enough situation to where it's, been a bad thing overall.
Yeah. The last thing I could say about that is my CrossFit coach down in Portsmouth, Ohio. He worked at the A plant in Piketon. He starts the gym, and I'm like, man, if this guy can do it, I can do it. And then the day that I injured my wrist, and he said, hey, there's this crazy guy on Instagram that's squatting every day. Follow him. So
That's
really,
how you got introduced to me.
yeah, through Dell King. He actually texted me this morning and said, congrats.
That's awesome.
When I left his place, Dell.
Shout out Dell.
Shout out Dell. Yeah, he's a forward thinker in Portsmouth and doing great things.
Love it.
And yeah, so without you two, I've thanked him many times. I said, without you starting the CrossFit gym in Portsmouth, I'm not where I'm at today.
That's wild,
Yeah.
Matt.
So that's our job. That's our job and reason to get out of bed, because we never know when we're going to be that dude. And that's literally why I get up out of bed.
Well, and that's what I think this new venture here with Connect Cafe, I think doing the podcast, you committing to, whether it's solo episodes with me, with other people in the community, like you committing to that, getting Dre on board, like there's going to be a lot of people that you're going to run into like that, man. I ran into a couple guys last night. I was like unloading stuff from the boat, started talking to this dude. He was like, his girl was going to the bathroom at the marina. And he was like, what do you got going on? And I was telling him like, yeah, I'm working on this property, whatever. His dude comes around the corner. He looks at me, he goes, bro, I did the pump 30 today. He looked at me, he's like, damn, you're Corey G. He's like, oh yeah, we basically like, we mess with your stuff. You know what I mean? And it was cool. Like you could tell like these dudes, like they weren't like crazy in shape, but they're holding to it because I think some of the content I'm providing, and they were generally excited to tell me that, they was on it. And
for sure,
they had some cute girls with them. Like I was kind of like, giving them like a silent clap, but it was cool to just hear any type of feedback like that. Because once again, you never know who's listening.
For sure.
You never know who's watching.
For sure.
Or the time that they need to hear it, which, that's what always makes me feel good about these stories with you, Matt, because you just needed the mindset manual at that time.
I tell you what, too, another little strategy that I use for myself is, if there was a camera following me everywhere around, would my son and daughter like approve of my actions? So the way I treat others, am I being lazy? Am I, taking naps? That's one thing if there's a camera following me, I keep that close in my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it keeps me accountable.
Yeah. Coach Ryan, Tom Ryan from Ohio State, the wrestling coach, he said, if I followed you around, you couldn't talk to me. Would I know your goals?
Yeah. I remember.
And I think that one was real, because I remember when he said that, I said, I knew the answer was yes, 100%. And there's sometimes where maybe it's not. So I got to be like, all right, am I really, or my actions really contributed to the things that I'm, say I want to do. And so that's like, both of those I think are good reflection points of like, if you're operating the way you should be operating.
Yeah. All right, Corey. So we've talked, about the come up, all the accolades and everything like that. So I want to dive into like entrepreneurship is often glamorized. Super
Sure.
cool. I'm an entrepreneur, this, that, but behind the scenes, it's tough. Yeah. Super tough. What's one failure? Like really dig deep. Like I know, like what's a failure or setback that, man, taught you so much or you didn't think you were going to overcome? Like there's something that like a turning point. Man, if you want to talk about it.
No. I'm just laughing because the first thing I thought of, I hadn't thought of in a while. I failed my personal training certification when I was in school. So literally like I'm in college, on a community college to be an exercise specialist. I go to take the, I can't even AF something. I don't know. It wasn't ACE. It wasn't even the hard one, Matt. And I failed it. And then I was like, well,
what now?
But I mean, to me, I was not a very good test taker, bad attention span, and really just didn't understand how I learn, right?
Yeah.
Even then. And so it just kind of reinforced that I thought I wasn't that smart. But I knew how to work hard. So I would always and I knew I was good at it, and I had an attractive personality, right? Because I was like enthusiastic, which is what I always commend you on. Like if you have enthusiasm, you care about people and they want to be around you, then you have a shot at something, right? And so once again, it kind of made me think like, maybe this isn't for me if I can't even pass. And I'm looking at the room and I'm like, none of these people, a lot of them weren't even in shape.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't tell anybody. I just kind of kept it moving, went back to school, but it felt like, and then I got a D in advanced weight training because I wasn't showing up to class. Because once again, that's the first time I had money and freedom all the way. So I'm running around drinking 40s, smoking knockoff Newports, acting a fool, rolling in the exercise class, smelling like cigarettes, living on campus at Ohio State with my friends.
Yeah.
And so I really had to kind of check myself, is this how a personal trainer operates? The answer quickly is no. And then I started to think am I even meant to do this if I can't even pass a basic ass certification test? And so that felt like I was failing in spending my money a little bit early. Damn, maybe I picked the wrong thing. Now I will tell you that the way I looked at it was, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to go back to the coal mine. Because thankfully I was good at it and I'm not scared and I know how to work hard. And so I kind of rested on that. So I'm playing with house money, bro. That's why I don't know if people realize that they look back at oh, you were so risky. What was I risking?
Yeah.
I had more to risk whenever I gave all my clients up and started Muscle Farm. When I transitioned from personal training, making $120,000 a year, which by the way, living in a trailer, that's crazy. I felt like I was rich.
For sure.
I was paying my bills, doing something I love, to go in to build another business. So I think early, man, I couldn't even pass a personal training certification, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. People in town will ask me, man, you're all over the place doing this. I'm like, what's the worst could happen? I go back to the trailer. I turned out all right.
That's what I'm saying.
I turned out all right. So
I mean, I felt successful, honestly, Matt, the first time somebody paid me $20 to personal train them. And I've talked about it a million times, but right then I was like, this works. This is what I was making as an overtime employee at AAP in the Caddis porthole. So I'm winning here.
I'm winning.
That's my first, I think that's first professional failure where I'm
that's a good story.
Am I supposed to? Yeah, I probably never even told you that before.
Yeah, I've never heard that one. So
I don't think I told anybody.
Heck yeah. So we got it here first. All right, let's move on to some mindset and some personal growth. So the Mindset Manual was a book that changed my life for sure. Is it still out on Amazon? Can you get that somewhere?
I think we have it for sale over at Max Effort, but it'll be on the Reverb, the 10-year reflection mindset manual will be out in October. My plan is to have it ready for the event October 25th. So basically I took the mindset manual, which a lot of people did love. I did a 10-year reflection on each chapter.
Yeah.
Went through the edits again, and we're re-releasing it on a 10-year anniversary. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. So maybe you could answer this. So if you could add one new chapter to the book, what would it be about? So the Mindset Manual was about 15 chapters and you crushed it at 15 or 16.
It's all worth it.
Okay.
It's all worth it. And I think that people have asked me that. You talked about ups and downs, and there's a million of both, right? And the amount of time and not going to the party and getting up early and falling asleep early and not being able to do things, and the amount of stress and Is it worth it? And there some people that answer is no.
And it's okay.
And it's okay if
the
no.
answer's no.
But for me, it's not. It was not no. It's yes. It was 100% worth it, and I'm living that every day. And I think, the financial IQ, the things that I wanted to change, like it's clearly changed. Like it's clearly changed in my day-to-day life. I see it in my family. I see the way as my kids are growing older. I see the way they're operating. I'm thankful for kind of the ways that they're doing things now, and it's because that's what they watch. The people don't do what you tell them, they do what they see.
For sure.
And I have displayed this type of thing for a really long time, and I'm proud of that. So it's all worth it. So if you're thinking to yourself that you want to embark on something that might take you a lifetime to change, and if you're even thinking that way, then I would tell you need to do it because it is worth it. And you'll think the same thing, Matt.
For sure. Yeah,
and probably already do.
I love that closing chapter. Yeah, it's all worth it.
It's all worth it.
Love
because there's a legacy piece, there's an impact piece, there's experiences, there's, teaching the generation above you and below you. I only thought it was below.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It impacted my grandparents. It impacted my parents. It's impacted age groups on both sides. And then we'll continue on as now I'm teaching myself the trusts and the pass down and all this type of stuff, right? That next level of education of like real wealthy people. Like I was poor and I want to be wealthy.
Yeah. So I have these conversations with my mom. I'm like, Mom, are you saving? What are you doing? Because money comes in, money goes out. But I think I've impacted the way my mom operates.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's super cool. And never would I had the confidence years ago. And she's coming to me for wisdom now.
Yeah.
And which that takes us into the next question, Corey, about family and balance.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough one. New entrepreneurs think they're going to start this business. It's going to happen overnight and there's going to be balance. Maybe there is balance for somebody. Maybe there's not. So you're not just a coach and entrepreneur. You're also a husband and father. How do you balance the demands of business and fitness and family without losing what matters the most?
You've known me for quite a while now. Have you ever even heard me say balance that often, if ever?
No.
It's not even a word I really use because I'm obsessed about change. That's it. And through that, I've integrated my family as best possible. I am thankful that a lot of my heavy building years were when my kids were super young.
Yeah.
I would say that it flipped, for me, where I was around way more as they were becoming 8, 9, 10 years old. And I would say I have the ultimate freedom as they were in, late grade school through high school and now college. And AG and I have a business meeting like next Tuesday at 2:00 and I can go. Yeah. And then I can also go to practice for Annan if I want, or you know what I mean? So the obsession of building something and developing myself has created freedom. It's different than balance.
Absolutely.
Balance is, I think, a lie that people tell themselves so they don't have to try hard sometimes.
I guess that's where I get tripped up and my heart wants to jump out of my chest when I hear young business professionals new into starting a business is I want to open up this business, but also I want to go eat cake and ice cream on Friday. You have to be, you better diagnose, self-reflect, because in order for it to be successful, you're going to have to put in the hours and the time up front.
Yep.
Now, what you said, we're at year 27.
Yeah.
The Corey has all the freedom. I mean, you could take a month hiatus if you want to.
For sure.
But it's been the 27.
But it's taken that long, right? And the thing is, Matt, that's why I love being around you, because you continually remind that that's what it takes. Because I'm watching you in year, 3 or 4 of Keeney's Kitchen, right? And it's you're still and will still be required to be that guy for a while. And that's just what it is. And I think the sooner people understand that, that's part of what I think I'm kind of meant to do in this kind of, 10th chapter of my life, is let people know what time it is. Sure. They've been lying to you on the internet. I knew when that shit started getting popularized. I started looking at it going, oh, this shit's going to crumble. Because I know what it really takes because I live it every day.
Yeah.
I was being an entrepreneur before it was cool because I just am one.
Yeah.
I am one, and I had a definitive purpose, back to the Andrew Carnegie books, that I knew I wanted to change everything. And I would think, if I'm going to change everything, what kind of person do I need to be? How do I need to operate? What's it going to take? So I've constantly looked for what is it going to take.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone that has built something great that isn't borderline obsessed with it. And I just don't rest on that I'm a bad guy because I don't use the word balance.
For sure.
Because I'm not. You know what I mean? It's I've executed exactly what I thought I wanted to do. And I believe my kids get it. And look, every one of our kids, we can crush it. They're still going to have things they don't like. So they might not want to marry an entrepreneur.
Sure.
Because they might not want that life to continue.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, that's cool. But the reality is, like, I see what we've created and been able to live. And yeah, that's why I don't think out of balance is required.
Yeah.
For a period of time, at least.
Obsession.
And then obsess and then be free. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, it's as simple as this is, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Did they have balance or were they obsessed with the craft? Is Phil Jackson obsessed with coaching?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then but it's also is like, what do you want professionally and personally? You know what I mean? Do you want to hit the six figures? Do you want to hit the 7 figures? And there's no right or wrong answer. Only you, the person out there, knows that.
You want to know what my balance is? 3:30 a.m.
Yep.
That's not balance for me. It's balance for everyone else.
Yeah.
That was what I did because I knew where else was I going to fit it in. How am I going to compete when I'm running multi-million-dollar businesses? How am I going to get what I need in the morning or get what I need in general? That's it. That's how I got the balance. So you want balance? 3:30 a.m.
Show up.
That's it. That's the balance.
Keep showing up.
That's
tomorrow.
the close. That's my best answer. I don't know if people view that as balance.
No, that's good. I just
that's a great question.
Like that word a lot when I hear in new up.
What you got to really think about, Matt, is, and this is different for everybody's personality, but when you're executing what you're executing, which is at a high level, multiple 6 figures at this point, then you just need to look at your life and go, in this season, does my son need me a little bit more? Does my wife need me a little bit more? And then maybe you contribute that. Is that balance? Probably still not balance, actual balance. Balance is 50-50. I would say that's virtually impossible.
Yeah.
That's why I like the word integration. If you can, I know that there's times where my daughter needs me more than my sons do.
Yeah.
And I need to contribute more time. So it might be out of balance from there or from Rach. I just think awareness of the process and not just being Netflix.
For sure.
And scroll.
Yeah.
That's where I think that's probably the balance you need to check.
The busiest season of my life right now. So September 1, just got the keys to our 4th brick and mortar Willersburg. October 1st, launching the new Business Connect Cafe. And then tonight, youth football coach from 5:30 to 8. Thursday, youth football, and our first football game is this Saturday. It takes up 3-4 hours. But my wife and I communicate. That's non-negotiable. I have to be there, and I want to be there.
Yeah,
I want to be there.
Course.
But man, Corey, that was a lot of info. A great first session. We're gonna wrap up with a couple fun and rapid fire questions for you, and then if you got anything to hit me with,
let's do it.
But to the people out there, Corey Gregory, favorite lift, and it probably changes over time, doesn't it?
Well, I think that I fell in love with powerlifting early, but it was probably originally the bench press. But I think that's an easy yes for everybody. But it became the squat. To me, there was nothing like crowds sitting down, because in a bench and a meet, you're on the bench. You can't see the crowd, right? So there's something about stepping up to the bar. No one can save you.
Yeah.
It's a weight you've never touched before. You got the lights on you. You can see everybody, but you're higher, so you're looking over top their heads. And that unrack and that presence at 600-700 pounds, there's a presence that's pretty elite, high level. At least that's what I experienced.
Yeah.
And I can lead you through my last big squat, that's 694.4 at 181, 44 years old, drug free. I unracked it and almost lost it because of the balance, because of you're on that edge, right? Of running the red line, trying not to rip something off, execute the lift. We're doing this big kind of documentary thing too. And so I needed to make it. There's some pressure. I could hear a pin drop. I was so focused, so prepared, and so ready. So there's something about that is the squat, because I like it. It's like life.
For sure.
Load you up and you just got to see, can I stand back up with this?
Show up, show out, or you get pinned, man. That's what I love about weightlifting. That's what I think why you and I are so addicted and obsessed and love that 225 is going to be 225 till the day we die. It's either people can talk about it, people can talk about all they want. There's a lot of talkers. Get under the bar. Show me. Deadlift it.
Yeah.
Bench it.
Can you pick it off the ground? I love that about the weights, Matt, because I knew that was something back in the day when I didn't have a lot, that even the playing field.
Separator.
And it was a separator because I knew I was willing to do what they weren't willing to do. And I knew it gave me a leg up. I understood that pretty early.
I tell my kids that I coach is, I don't care what your last name is. I don't care what subdivision you live in. The weight is the separator. It don't lie. So you can't run to mommy and daddy. You can't hop in.
Iron don't lie, boy.
Yeah, for sure.
love that.
If you could give one piece of advice to a 20-year-old kid who feels lost but full of potential, what would Corey G go back and say to a 20-year-old Corey G?
Yeah, so two things. One, I would listen to what I listened to, which was my intuition. I heard, this is the only thing you like to do. This is the path. You got to save as much money and go give yourself a chance. See, a lot of my MOs has been work hard, give myself a chance. Because we're not really guaranteed anything. The one thing I would have done though, Matt, is I would have started putting $50 away in the stock market. Because I didn't understand compounding interest.
Yeah.
That's part of understanding finance that I'll say this forever. People who understand money have money. And we clearly didn't understand it growing up, and neither did our families, right? Which is why we continued not to have it.
Sure.
Once you make it and you understand it, it changes everything. And so I would say I'm borderline obsessed with financial IQ and have been for well over a decade now. If I would have been as obsessed about, or even half as I was with exercise, then I would have kind of started some of those things early. But other than that, honestly, I don't know that I would change anything. I just am glad I listened to what I heard in my head. And I thankfully didn't have phones.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything to distract us, bro. I'm just lifting weights and dreaming. And I think that was probably, I didn't have no comparison. I didn't care. I also didn't have any mentors or anybody that was displaying what I wanted to do. It was a fictitious job. I'd never met anybody. It took a lot of belief if I think back. It took, so I just would have believed the same thing I already believed, Matt.
Yeah. And I think the power of creativity, I think that's gifts from God. Not everybody can think the way you think. Not everybody can tap into that intuition.
Yep.
And you either have it or you don't. But if you do have it, I think you're doing yourself a disservice by not following through and giving it a chance.
You have to follow it. Everyone has it. Okay. See, that's the thing. But a lot of people are just clouded by maybe how distracted they are, that they're around a lot of drama, that they're not developing themselves. And so I don't think it's as loud. Yeah. I think they hear it.
Okay.
Or it's real faint. And then so why would they believe it? Mine was very clear.
Yeah.
It was almost so loud that I had to listen. And I think because I was taking care of myself, I was training, I was dreaming, I listened to it more. And I think that if you don't hear what we're talking about, look at what you got going on. Is your insulin going up and down? Are you eating bad? Are you not training? Are you around a lot of drama? Are you always on your phone? You ain't going to hear it. Everyone can hear it.
Yeah, for sure. That's good stuff. Corey, man, I'm going to pass the mic to you. I think that was a banger of a first episode here in Chillicothe at Meal Prep, Keeney's Kitchen, Connect Cafe, downtown Chillicothe.
Let me ask you a couple things real quick,
let's
Matt.
get it.
So what is the thing you're most excited about with Connect Cafe? Right out the gate, what is the number one?
3 words I can't get out of my head is opportunity, impact, connect. So we talk about this. I'm not afraid. I'm willing. There's an opportunity presented to me. I'm going to throw every bag, trick, time, effort, energy to make this a success.
How did those words come to you? Is it an intuition thing? It just kind of started, as you started to think about this possibility, did it just start to kind of cycle in your head?
100%. As the building owner contacted us and said, hey, there's a potential that the lease ain't going to be fulfilled. Mm-hmm. There's a vacant space. Would you like it? Immediate answer, no. Keeney's Kitchen operates off the least amount of square foot space. Is more profitable and less to keep up with. So no, it was immediate no. But then as I began to wake up in the morning, literally the quiet time on the way to the gym, it just whispers in my ear.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Opportunity, impact. And being 42 years old and coming from the struggles, the trailer, the lack of education, and just trying to show people a different way. So impact as many people as possible in a small town. Get on this microphone. I've dreamed of this opportunity for 7 years. We're right here. We're doing it. And then connect. The older I get, the older you get, I think we're starting to turn into our dads, our grandpas.
Facts.
But the power of connection. You never know when a conversation is going to spark a new business. Whenever I love introducing people to others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have
Facts.
a killer on this side. You have a killer on this side. They don't know each other. And just, they should be together.
Sure.
I get more excited out of introducing people that need to be together.
Yeah.
Then I'm not saying a dollar bill, but as we were talking about, I'm not chasing dollar bills. I'm chasing impact and connection.
Yeah. What's the thing is the most scary about it?
The most scary, I would say, when you're not afraid to fail, there is nothing scared. I'm not even
Great
scared.
answer.
I would be scared of missing a ball.
Well, let me
game.
rephrase that. They're scary, then they're scared. Scared is defined. Scary is part of like figuring stuff out. But there's nothing really.
Nothing scares
love
me
that.
about this. I know because tomorrow morning the alarm clock's going to go
Yeah.
off, and I'm not going to base my decision on emotions. I'm going to get up and do the work necessary to win.
I think that's a great just thing for people to hear.
Yeah.
Because I think that so often people are jumping to all these conclusions instead of like building confidence and knowing they could figure it out over time. Now you have to have the habits in place to be able to believe that. But the reality is like so many people have looked at from the outside and been like, dude, I don't know how you like building the island, all these things. I'm like, yeah, some of them were scary because I was uncertain.
Yeah.
But uncertain is where you grow.
Yeah.
I've been uncertain about a lot of things, but I figured it out through my habits, through the confidence, and then when you figure it out, you're like, that's an exciting thing. And like, I go to the island and work now and I just go, how much did I grow off that project? That's where Results Lifestyle Experience came from. I was working in these uncertain terms, believing in myself, and things were showing up, and intuition. And, so the hard part is the certainty doesn't really cause any growth.
Yeah.
The uncertainty does. And that's what's really hard. So I love that answer. I think it's really good for people to hear.
And I'll follow up that whenever Keeney's Kitchen gets complacent or easy, like it's literally became easy to operate and run.
Yeah.
And anytime I find it being easy, that's when I realize like, whoa, like we need a new location.
Time to scale.
I work best under pressure, whether some people call it stress, but complacence. I can lay on the couch with the best of them when I don't have nothing to do. But when you have dates on the calendar, whenever you have service to give others, that's And I told my staff, I've had some staff meetings and said, look, for 52 weeks, I'm living beyond the comfort zone. You know what I mean? I'm way out here on a stratosphere that I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. I need my team to be locked in, dialed in. I tell my staff every single week that I can guarantee you next year of September 2026, it's going to look a lot different than September 2025. And are you willing to hop on the boat and take a ride? Or if you're not ready to grow, that's okay. There's another job out there for you, but I need you to step up.
Speaking that vision as a leader is important.
Yeah,
Matt.
for sure.
And I tell my guys all the time, like, I know what it looks like when this, and this happens. I already lived it. I believe in it. I'm putting forth the action. Like, that's what true leaders do. They're speaking that vision. They're speaking confidence. They're doing what they need. So I don't know. I'm excited to come down here, man. I look forward to it. It was a great drive. I knew get you on the mic. So you didn't have any freeze up moments at all. You did good.
Appreciate it. We're going to take a walk around the block. I'm going to show you the town.
Yeah. Hey, I want to commend you. Thanks for putting yourself out here 52 weeks, getting Dre involved. Like, I'm excited to be here. So thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Corey G.
Yeah, boy. We here.
Appreciate your time.